Welcome to another episode of Boom and Bust. I'm your host, Tony Clement. I am here at the News Forum where all voices matter. Well, it's time for our monthly panel, and what a time it is in Canadian politics and the economics of the situation. So we have lots to discuss with the Honorable Joe Oliver. He's a former Canadian Minister of Finance, and the Honorable Candice Bergen. She is former leader of the Conservative Party of Canada. Welcome to both of you.
Great to
Hi, Tony.
So I guess the big orange elephant in the room is the Trump tariffs. So we'll start with that. And obviously, we had recently had the announcement of on Liberation Day of worldwide tariffs. So I'd love to get your analysis of the situation, how it impacts Canada, or how Canada was saved, whatever you see as the big story there. Joe Oliver, we can start with you.
Well, it was clearly a mixed message. The tariffs on aluminum and steel remain, and the tariffs on the automobile industry will be there for those materials or processes that occurred outside the boundaries of the USMCA. So the auto industry will be quite adversely affected. It's not clear by how much. I haven't seen any numbers. The head of the parts association talked about an existential threat. The auto manufacturers won't be quite as critically impacted, but it will be very serious indeed. And then, of course, anything outside the USMCA and outside the auto industry will be impacted as well with the 10%, across the board tariff. I understand. There's still a little bit of uncertainty, uh, and it's quite confusing. But we dodged one bullet and another bullet hit us, and it's still embedded, and there doesn't seem to be much opportunity for that to be lifted in the near term that I can see.
Candice Bergen, is that your take on the situation as well?
Well, I think there's the political side of the tariffs, and then there's the side of how it affects Canada and how do we deal with it moving forward. On that front, definitely they hurt. They hurt us quite severely. But I think that Trump. Well, I shouldn't try to pretend I understand President Trump. But it would seem that possibly there's some pressure around him from Republicans who understand how important U.S. relationship with Canada is and the opportunities that could be there. Possibly got through to him, whether it was his tone where he addressed Mark Carney as Prime Minister Carney, and we had a great conversation. We're going to talk more. There seemed to be some backtracking. He hasn't talked about annexing us again. And even the fact that Canada and Mexico were exempt and not mentioned on that, big chart. I think it shows us on the actual policy side that we can make some progress. And now I'm going to switch to the political because it's really important. We have to go in with leverage, and we don't have a lot of leverage. We're a small country compared to the US. We need them more than they need us. So politically, this is where Pierre's policies around what we should have been doing over the last 10 years and what we need to be doing going forward actually builds that leverage that we need so that we can go in with some strength and be able to negotiate from a position of strength.
And if
Uh,
I could just
yeah,
follow up
please.
on, I mean, clearly there are pressures inside the United States. The U.S. Senate actually voted um, against the tariffs uh, that were targeting Canada because some of the Republicans moved over, including Rand Paul and Senator Murkowski and two others. So there's a sentiment that is, I think, prevalent in the country uh, that it really doesn't make sense to go after Canada the way the president is. And then, of course, there's the direct impact on some industries and prices of goods, which will be hurting the very core block that the president relies on, which is blue collar workers, middle income Canadians across Americans across the country. So he's got some internal pressures, which I think are the most important. And so, he said so many things, and so much of
Right.
it is contradictory. So he can
Sure.
sort of back off and hopefully
Sure.
declare a bit of victory. But it doesn't look like
Right.
he's going to lift tariffs right across the board, not in the short term.